Welcome to My Money Mindset podcast, where we explore how a healthy mindset is the foundation for financial success. Each week, we delve into mindset hacks and practical strategies to help you enhance your income, help you make more appropriate investments for yourself, and to improve your overall financial well-being. Join us on this journey to transform your financial future by transforming your mindset. Please note that the information provided on this podcast is for general information purposes only and does not constitute as personal, financial or health advice. It has been prepared without considering your individual objectives, financial situation or life needs. Before making any financial or health decisions, you should consult with a qualified professional or financial advisor to ensure the information aligns with your specific circumstances. So let's begin and enjoy this journey as each episode teaches us on how to improve our overall mindset that it overall improves our financial success. I suppose the first thing that I really wanted to begin with was more about what or why you wanted to learn about investment or jump into the investment game and be a part of earning a lot more income or building a property portfolio, increasing your wealth and everything like that. Now, most of the time, everyone, when it comes to investment, is saying, well, obviously to earn a lot more money, it's quite evident. This is why we do what we do. Now, let's break that down because an investment can be anything, yeah? Like as we know, the ordinary sort of way we look at investment is it could be share market, it could be property, it could be Bitcoin, whatever it may be, it could be investing in a racehorse, things like that. Now, obviously, investment means that it's long term. It could be short term. So a day investment, so you trade in the morning and you sell in the afternoon with shares or Bitcoin or anything like that. But it's always future what you get out of the future. You increase the value of your input. So if you input $1, you'd like to make sure that you get back more than $1 and so on and so forth. And that is on any magnitude, property, shares, Bitcoin, anything like that. So that being said, understanding what the term investment is probably what I'd like to just talk about quickly. And by the end of this episode, I'd like to sort of make sure that your full understanding of what an investment is, only because it's only when you understand truly what investment is, means that you could actually work out what investment suits you. And that can break it down. Now, if we're talking property, which I sort of always strategize in most of the time, is simply property because in the end, property can be commercial, could be a factory, warehouse, office, retail, could be mixed zone, so it could be half a shop, half living quarters, could be residential, could be a block of units, flats, etc., development, construction. That's property investment, and it can be broken down. So once again, by the end of this episode, understanding what that investment in property means to you. And the unfortunate part about social media or marketing these days is that everyone's got the golden goose in property, which is probably not the fact, guys, because the term investment isn't something about where it's a get rich quick or anything like that, as you've heard. And most of the time, everyone is trying to search for who to listen to about which property, where to buy next, and so on and so on. It's not that simple. And believe it or not everyone really has that golden goose unless they can really justify it and get that crystal ball and prove it to you. So understanding the term investment means I'm actually outlaying $1 that I've earned for the future, and I know or sort of trust that I'm going to get it back. And most of the time when it comes to trading or property, you need to spend more than that dollar. So in actual fact, there's the dollar you invest plus the fees that are associated with it. And that can sometimes be very, very costly. If you're looking to buy an investment, make sure that you understand that the fees that accommodate this investment, so housing this investment, when you buy a property, the fees of holding a loan, the association or the fees with that, there could be the rates associated with the Now, most of the time, if they don't get their money back, then it's going to be something that somewhere along the line they didn't do their homework. So this is where understanding the investment that suits you is probably what I'm trying to address here. An investment, if you're looking for quick return, is probably not property unless you know that you can actually do something with the land. So let's say develop it, buy it, and in 12 months sell it and make a massive profit. If you're in the game, understand that you need to know or have a great team of tradesmen or builders, plans, all that, architects, everything like that, brokers, to make sure that what you're doing in that short term literally works. And most of the time, guys, if it's too good to be true, it often is, as I say, with property, because by the time it gets to you or on a platform where you can actually see the property for sale, a lot of other experts in the industry, including myself, brokers, real estate agents, things like that, have already seen this property and gone, gee whiz, oh, that'll be a great to invest. And none of us has taken it. What it actually means is by the time it gets to the marketing platform, it probably is just a normal return on investment like a normal property. So really make sure that you do the numbers that. The other thing is also, if it's not a short-term investment and it's more like something that you want to actually say, well, this is going to be for a long-term investment. What does long-term mean to you? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? And that is in accordance to what your age is too. So obviously if you're younger, you're going to have a lot more time for this accumulation period, because property on average, they say, should grow every 7 to 10 years. It should double. Now that's what's been proven in the past. It's not necessarily what's going to happen in the future, but it may. Even if you predict that it was half that, then you want to do those sums based on a worst case scenario. What I always say is you pressure test the return on an investment. So if you're 30 years old and you want to retire by 50, you do the sums, you buy for $1 million, doubles every 10 years, let's say, on assumption. So it's worth $1 million. It's going to worth in 10 years, it's worth 2 million. In another 10 years, it's worth 4 million, that type of thing. But really make sure that that investment is in accordance to your timeline, because the term investment is always for the future. Now, what I would get back to in regards to investment, so understanding what's our level of investment that we want to create, I would put down and say, well, okay, if it is going to be a day trade and I want results quick, then you look at your personality traits there and ask yourself why you're looking for a quick trade. Or have you worked out that the day trade quicker is going to get you faster results, obviously, per return on investment, as opposed to going the long haul with the property option, meaning over the next 5 years, 2 years, 10 years, 30 years, and asking yourself in your personality trait, what's actually going to fit you better? Like what's actually going to suit what you're looking to do? And if the immediate response is, I want to make as much money as fast as possible, which would obviously be the common reaction, then you'd have to ask and break that down as well. Now it starts to get a little bit confusing. Now where I'm going with this is ask yourself why you're looking for the investment. Yes, it is to make money, but if it's a long-term investment or even a short-term investment and you just make multiple short-term investments, you need to make sure that that's going to be in accordance to your personality. In other words, have you got the energy to do short-term trades enough, or do you just simply want to make sure that you do your homework now, choose a great property or great investment for a long-term strategy, and just simply build equity in that strategy and work out, okay, yes, I do have the patience. Yes, I am willing to put in the effort now to do my research to find a good property and then allow that property to sort of flourish. It's pretty much very similar to that of, that analogy of putting a seed to become a seedling. That seedling becomes then a small plant and so on and so forth. And you know the story, what goes on there. But it's one of those things that you've got to ask yourself, what would suit my personality? Like when I get up in the morning or in the afternoon and I want to think about buying property or which property, that sort of stuff, what is my appetite? Because there's no use going for a longer term if you're always in a hurry just wanting to make money. But can you substitute always wanting to make money into your job or career or business and leave the investment side of things? Ultimately, because investment is all about their long haul and making as much money through the money that you input, and making sure that the time that that investment nurtures and matures into what you potentially hope it will is in accordance to you. So there's no use me actually going, well, yeah, I think I'm right. I think I'll buy a property. I'll wait 10 years. Where in actual fact, I probably know deep down, if I ask myself and be self-aware, that this isn't for me. I'd rather get together with a group of developers or get a team together and actually buy a property to build on it and then sell the properties or something to that degree, right? So it's also, oh, you could do both. I mean, gee whiz, that's what you do. So your strategy could also be buy something for long term, build equity every year, so on and so forth, and then re-look at it every year with your broker or your accountant or whatever it might be, whoever does your finance, to then ask, okay, is there enough equity to buy the next project? Or another, draw money out for investments in shares or Bitcoin or anything like that. Now, obviously, this isn't financial advice, but these are different strategies that people use all the time, and you really should speak to someone before doing this type of strategy. Now, getting back to the personality, are you in a hurry, or if you're not in a hurry, that's one thing you have to ask. And the reason why I think it's very, very important that you do is simply because as an investment, because obviously the topic is investment here, that investment needs you to be firing on all cylinders as well. It's not just a matter of set and forget and hopefully someone looks after it for you. You really, as the owner of that investment, just like anything, like children are an investment or whatever it else might be an investment, your garden's an investment, that sort of thing. Your education is an investment. You need to look after it. You need to really make sure that it's working for you and keep a finger on the pulse, so to speak. And what do those personality traits look like? Well, obviously patience or having an open mind, open discussion, relationships with different professionals, that sort of thing. Build a team together and then start to understand which investment makes sense. Now, like I said earlier, it is hard to choose an investment. Obviously, in this day and age where we're riddled with marketing about property gurus to just know what to do, really is buyer beware. It really is do your due diligence. Investment is learning about your investment, why your investment, which I'll do another episode about why. The question of why in anything that you do has to be understood. It's not just, I'll lean on my accountant or I'll lean on my finance broker. They should be learning and teaching with you all the fundamentals of why you should be or should not be looking at an investment, right? So why are you getting in this investment? Does it actually suit where we're going with our financial strategy? It's that simple. And the last thing of all is always make sure that you, once you do learn why you are looking at investment, make sure that it suits you. But what happens if you think the investment suits you, but you really don't have an appetite for it or you can't afford it in most instances? What happens there? That is then beginning the structure of you've worked out why. Now stick to that goal. If you really believe that you've worked out, look, this investment suits me. It really, this is what I'm all about. And I believe that if I stick to my guns, it's going to work out. You then have to make changes within your life to actually get to that investment. So in other words, that investment, if you really believe that that's where you want to go, then you have to break down in a micromanaged plan how you're going to get to that investment. It's not always about money, guys. If anything, it's more about your focus. Your focus on the investment. We see so many teams that are playing sport, are using sport as an analogy. And they're revved up and they train and they practice and they train, and the day comes and they get all nervous and they drop the ball and so many mistakes are made, and because there's pressure. But when they're practicing, everything's fine and they believe that they're going to win the game. And then sometimes they do or sometimes they don't. And the same thing goes for us as, potential investors, that we go, look, this really is the investment I want to do. Whether that investment is a purchase or if it's an investment in a relationship even, you've got to make sure that that is something that you're working to. And you need to build the micro points of your personality and your behavior day in, day out to fit or get you towards achieving that investment. And that also correlates with goals. So if your investment is equal to a goal, or your goal is to buy an investment, or vice versa, however you look at it, you need to really then question yourself about how you're going to get that and be open-minded. The first approach to any investment is open-mindedness. Now, you've been open-minded to choose the investment and you've gone, no, look, I'm being true to myself. This is why I want that investment. But really break it down to say, now I'm going to be open-minded towards achieving these smaller goals to get to that investment. It seems really long-winded, but it pays dividends simply because once you're self-aware and you're open-minded and you're telling yourself the truth, I mean, there's no better person to tell the truth, is to tell the truth to yourself and question, what are the boundaries and my limitations? Are there limitations in this investment towards breaking down my personality traits or behavioral traits or time in the day, my job role, whatever? Yet some people come to me and say, Mark, I want an investment simply because I want to make enough money to leave my job. Well, why are you in this job? Obviously, if you hate it that much and you're relying on this investment to get you out of the job, I'd be questioning your job, not the investment. Investment will look after itself. Don't forget, the investment is like that plant. I mean, you've got to look after it. But you don't spend 8 hours a day at it, or 10 hours, or whatever hours you do a day as you do your job. If you're pouring 8 hours into a day and you're miserable or you're really not liking what you do, you need to break that down in your personality trait. A lot of people go, well, I can't find any other job, or oh, it's all too hard. And what's too hard? I would then break that down and say, okay, what are the negative things in your life that are making you hate this job? I mean, it could be the boss, could be the whole, whatever it could be. There's so many factors, right? And we could stay here for hours just talking about what are the factors that are going to affect us with this job. But it's not. Guys, if you hate something and you're working 8 hours in it, what are you doing? You're never going to get those 8 hours back. So I would start to, before even look at the investment, start investing in yourself. Invest in yourself, because at the end, that investment's still going to need you. Yeah, if I'm going to buy a property and say, well, I'm going to become a developer and it's going to happen overnight, it's not going to happen overnight, guys. There's so much to learn. There's so many things that goes along with property investing. So take a step back, make yourself the investment before you make an external investment, because that external investment is an extension of yourself. And yourself is primarily the goal achiever, not the team. It's you. You have a position to play. You have a responsibility to kick a goal. You will do whatever you can to make sure that that goal is kicked. Whether the investment kicks it, your team members at your work kick it, whoever, but you're kicking goals. And 8 hours is a long time, a hell of a long time to spend in something that you dislike. Do not allow your mindset, in a dislike mindset, choose an investment. Because guess what, guys? You're going to choose an investment that was really not your true, what would have helped you make more money. So invest in yourself, be happy with yourself, get into a role, a position, a money making, start a business, whatever it is, an income that is secure. Because making a secure investment requires you to be secure. Making a secure income requires you to be secure, to be happy. How many times have you ever done something like cooking? If we go and cook something, and we hate cooking every day, I mean, it's really laborious. I mean, you can't wait to get out of there, wash the dishes and go to bed. But let's say, for instance, you love cooking and you love cooking up a certain dish and you do it. Every so often you make a dish and you do it and you put your passion, like a music player. You can tell the really good musos is simply because they put passion into their instruments. And what do you get? You get a fantastic tune, a rhythm, a melody, whatever you do. And they're the ones that really do well, is because they love what they do. People question, why do I do? Why do I help people buy finance, and why do I buy property and finance and investment and help their careers? And why is this? Simply because I love the energy that it gives people. The moment you get someone, their eyes clicking to say, I actually love what I do, and it was a team effort that we got you there. I mean, really, I can't express that in words, and there's not a lot of times I can't express anything in words, but that is the ultimate achievement for myself. So you need to make sure that you love or identify what you do. Now, this all correlates down the path of an investment. This all correlates, yeah, because you can think about it. All of a sudden, in the beginning of this episode, we were talking about buying an investment. How to buy it, what to buy, who to buy, watch out for this, watch that. But at the end of the day, ultimately, that investment is you. And you are like the seedling that grows into the trunk of the tree, and the investment or investments are the branches that start peeling off. The fruits of your efforts, or the fruits of your energy that you've poured into it. Don't always focus on investment being the thing or the savior of your happiness. The happiness has to come within you, because then you are the one that's going to favor the investment, this property. And there's nothing worse, and I can't emphasize this enough, is that if you're really not happy with where you are and you're upset, or you find on a common occurrence, it could be you're in a relationship that sort of is negative, or you have negative connotations in life, you need to rectify that before you start making long-term or short-term investment decisions. You know, gambling is not an investment, guys. I mean, I don't think it is, but anyway, some people may argue that. But you're taking a gamble if you are saying, well, oh, look, I'm just going to try and make an investment. I'm not really thinking straight, or I know that I can do better, but hey, that's going to take all too long and I don't have time and my time's running out and so on and so forth. And you just make rash decisions on investment. It's probably not what I'd be doing. But that being said, you know, I'm not always right. Hey, so in the long term, what I would be doing is investing in yourself, guys. Then from there, work towards your investment. But what do we do if that investment really doesn't work out? So let's say you're using a day trade. Oh, we lost money. Well, what do? Do we learn on that? Do we just throw our hands in the air? Or we bought a property 10 years ago, hasn't moved, it's a lemon. If I sell now, I'm going to lose a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. What happened? Now, these are all individual scenarios. Should I buy? Should I sell? Should I do this? Should I, my investment didn't work out. I was in a bad marriage. Now I'm not. That's what affected my, past relationships, whatever it is. There's so many reasons why these investments are wrong. But at the end of the day, wrong is wrong. And today is all that matters. Not tomorrow or yesterday, today. So if we do have an investment that sort of went pear-shaped, I'd have to start to think about, well, what do we do? Implement that loss or that bad investment into ourselves today and get it to somewhat achieve a better result or improve upon ourselves by either letting go of that investment, keeping that investment and improving it, or really making sure that you do what you can in order to improve yourself. It goes back to yourself. Even though you've got this lemon of an investment, or you lost a ton of money over this investment and it's hard to get back on, it all goes back to yourself, because in the end, once you've got a clear mind, it's only then you'll start questioning yourself if you're able to do the next step and that is to improve, sell, keep the investment, whatever you want to do with it, that lemon investment, and then make a better decision for it. You got to do your due diligence with the investment, learn out why it lost money. You're probably quite evident in most instances, just whatever. And what was it about the decision when you did make this investment or invest initially, and why you did it, and then probably not repeat that if you think that that's what affected or made a problem. So what I'm saying with that is ultimately, it's that cliche, life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But ultimately, it's not about making the lemonade. It's making sure that the person making the lemonade is actually back on track with their mind. There's no use just throwing you and blaming everyone else for this bad investment. You in yourself today have to be right in mind and self to then move forward and do what you've got to do to improve yourself to make a better investment. And guys, this isn't just always about property, right? I see investment as in life itself. Life is a gifted investment. We have it every day, and how do we treat that life? How does that come back to us? We're gifted. You say, oh no, it's terrible and this, that. Well, we only got to go and see the misfortune of people to get a real appreciation. That's quite sad if we've got to do that, because that should be in our ethos of life, to appreciate life for what it is. Life is an investment. You are the person that are living life. You are your own investment. So already you have been gifted with the fact that you have life, you have yourself, and you have your energy, and you can actually make a difference right now, today. It's not like you've got to wait for this thing to become whatever. You've got to live and invest in yourself today for the future, and that will make you very successful in investments.